Hi, friends. This is Chris with Josephine's Design. I'm super excited to be back with you. I am in my classic Happy Planner, classic Mini Mickey. So I love this one. This one is what I do for Josephine's Designs. It does bleed over in my other two planners. I have one that's like my catch-all, which is a 10, and one that is my wallet, personal size that I carry on the way or on the go. So, and I've never said, but that personal size is wider, except for in the initial setup, it is wider than the standard personal size. So it fits okay if as long as I don't overstuff it because of the ruffle on mine. So anyways, I'll go more into that when I do that planner. But I just realized the other day that I probably had not said that a whole lot. So anyways, I'm also back with this gorgeous brand new DEK kit. It is Hello Weekend. I absolutely love it. I even thought about, Home Sweet Home, putting this in my COVID journal, but then I just decided, no, I kind of like it, and I think I'm going to go ahead and just use it today. It was in my stash for this month, and so one more week in this month, so here we go. I'm going to use it. All right, friends, so I am back, and I absolutely love Mini Mickey, as you guys know, and I do really like my Happy Planner. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the only problem for me is that I am far better and more productive in a 10 because I can pick it up and take it anywhere. It's not cumbersome. It gives me a lot of growth in a different way in that it's not a canned layout. Now, one of my personal 10 does have a little bit of a canned layout, but in my standard 10 that I have a wide standard insert in, I have more creativity with that. And I'm not going to lie, I like that creativity. Now, when my parents were so ill, I did not have time. So here, let me show you this kit. Isn't this cute? I think I've showed it to you before when I've gotten it. Look at that rose gold. Isn't that gorgeous? And then look, aren't those just so sweet? Then we have the functionals and the days of the week. So anyways, and then here's more functionals, more decorative, and then the scallops that I loved, and then these kind of scallops, almost like an eyelet scallop that I love. Of course, you have the banners and just other half boxes, weekend, some additional washi style days of the week, which I always use for my menu. I don't know why, but I always do. And yes, I even put that in my Josephine's Design. This is the checklist, and I really love checklists that have a background, but it's very light, and then I can really feel like I can write on it and see it. Every now and then you'll get a checklist that your pen competes with it, and so, and I never know, should I pull out white? Should I just stay with black? What should I do? But I love this, and I just love the wood look. And then lastly, I've got this, and of course, these are the not highlight, but headers. And I use these as washi in my smaller tins. So, everything, when I hear people say things like, this isn't fitting my planner, I need it cut to this size. I just want to say one thing. I don't ever have these the size that I need them because I never get it quite straight because, I mean, that's just me, right? But what I've recognized is I can use any kit anywhere in any kind of planner, whether it be a tiny personal that I carry as a wallet, whether it be a standard 10 or a standard wide 10, or it can be any of the Happy Planners. So I've used every single size of Happy Planner, huge Happy Planner fan. Not this year, but maybe next year I'll go back to some in the bigs that are undated that I have in my storage, for memory keeping. But for right now, I'm kind of doing my own thing. I'm junk journaling. I'm making albums that way, and I'm really enjoying it this year. And I think this is just the year of creativity for me. After so many years of working so much, it is such a blessing to be able to do what I can do and do it the way I want to do it and when I want to do it. And I know you're probably thinking, well, what a little stinker. But I've spent so many years on call helping others, which is a blessing. I will never regret that. But I do have to say that I never had time to be creative. I mean, I never had time to be creative. And even though I'm working so much right now, there is still time for creativity for me in that I don't care if it's 3 in the morning. I will literally sit up till 3 in the morning trying to get things done just to have time of creativity. And I know that probably people think that's crazy, but that is something that I have needed for a long time. I'm going to white out that if I can find my whiteout, and it's right here. Sorry, it's the Disney logo, but anyways, I'm not going to be totally perfect because it's going to cover up part of it. But I need that time. And I remember when things got really bad with my parents' estate, my husband just said, please craft 2 to 3 hours a day. Please, 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 please craft. And I just felt so uh, stinking guilty about doing that I just would not allow myself to do it unless I was doing something specifically for someone. I did do my planners. I did keep that up, but I did really canned planners. And and there's good and there's bad with that. I'm not, but I'm just saying for me, this is what I needed. This is where I needed, or in my teens is where I needed to be. And I just couldn't do it. And I kept trying and trying. And you know what? You live, you learn, right? So I think since there's only one of these, I may use these as well. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just use them now. I was thinking about this the other day, thinking, why am I not using these? These are so cute. Or why am I spreading it out? And it's good to spread things out. It's good to save money. Look, I can take one sticker kit and let it last three weeks worth. I may trim these, but I may not. I'm just going to be really honest. But why am I being so silly about this? And I really have had some real kind of epiphanies that I've never been a no white space planner. I'm enjoying that in this planner. And actually, I'm finding that it encourages me. So when you guys are thinking, pardon me, sorry, cedar is really bad here right now. And so anyways, I was outside with my husband a little bit earlier. But when you're thinking like, why would I do this? I'll tell you why you do it. Because when I sit down to plan now for work, I just feel like it flows. It's like I sit down and I just plan it all out. I'm happy. I get up. I feel happy about it. I mean, it's a good thing for me. And I know you're probably thinking, yeah. But it is. I mean, I feel really good about it. So just saying. So anyways, and I think I don't want to cover up Mickey. I don't think I'm going to use those. I looked at these and I debated, and I never cover these up because I don't want to cover up Mickey or, Mickey, I guess I have to say that, but I love Minnie. Okay, I'm going to save this for maybe later. And now I'm just going to come in here. I think I'm going to go with these next. But it has been a journey for me. It really has been. Oh, and by the way, I got my hair done. I did it. It's much darker than that. But for many of you who've been saying, I want to see your hair, you can go look on my Instagram, and now it's back to red all over. And I know the top got dark, but in the light, I guess there's still a little bit of red left in my hair. And my mother was a strawberry blonde at one point, and my great-grandmother was an auburn. And so I've always been told you have a lot of red in your hair, but my dad was Welsh, I think a touch of German, and Native American. So and just, I mean, not, just kind of like everybody. And so he had really, 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 really dark brown hair. It never grayed until right before he passed. And I've always laughed and said, oh, my hair will never gray. Well, seriously, when I took care of my parents, it grayed. Not a lot, just got a few streaks here and there. And I mean, it was such an emergent lifestyle for so long, which I'm thankful I got to be there. I'm thankful I wasn't tied down to a 9 to 5. I'm thankful for a lot of things. But it was very stressful. And so, I mean, clearly something's going to give, and weight, and I guess a few gray hairs gave. So anyways, but anyways, so I did my hair. I couldn't believe it. I've been talking about it for so long. My oldest daughter has an apricot. No, pardon me. Hers is all white. I had apricot. I was thinking she had an apricot. I don't know why I said that. Anyways, she has an all white little toy poodle, and her name is Snickerdoodle, and she is so funny. She is the cutest dog. But when they had the baby, dogs became dogs. So poor snickerdoodle. But anyways, so I'm going to take these two that match and I'm going to put them on Saturday, Sunday, just because. And yeah, but I have really, really, really enjoyed some of the freedom of kits. And so, anyways, and I love that I can find things that support what's going on in my life. So I got my nails done. I did my hair. I did facials. I actually did a full-blown makeup, and not full-blown, but mostly done. Hold on one sec. Sorry, we've got cedar fever right now, and I got in here without something to drink, which may be a problem in a minute, but we'll see. And I got to put the breakfast one at the top, though we are eating breakfast for dinner some. I think that's fun. My husband, we made breakfast for dinner the other night, and he goes, well, why would we eat breakfast for dinner? And I kind of looked at him and said, we've always eaten breakfast for dinner. What are you talking about? And, he kind of looked at me like, oh, and I just said, deal with it, buddy. Deal with it. It's good. So anyways, I think I'm going to put one of these candles here. Okay. Anyways, but it was good. I mean, it's good to get back and try all these new things. And I mean, I did my hair at like 3 in the morning, or well, 1 in the morning, but I just, all I can say is because I really don't like to be interrupted, and you know how you do. I used to can it like in the middle of the night. I used to love that. I used to practice my flute in high school in the middle of the night because then nobody can interrupt me, or could interrupt me. Okay, Home Sweet Home. I want to put that up here, right here. And that's where I'm going to put my list for the house. And actually, this time, I haven't been doing this, and I think I'm going to do it this time. Anyway, so it feels good to kind of take care of ourselves. And if you go look on my Instagram, you'll see my picture where I took a picture. I actually put it up. I promised a friend. And anyways, long story short, it has been a journey. And I really believe that God wants to take care of our bodies. He wants us to, and one of the things he wants us to do, what he talks about in scripture. And if you go to that Instagram, it'll show that scripture. Anyways, I think it's 1 Corinthians 6. Why is it 19 and 20? I can't remember. Anyways, go look. I'm probably totally wrong, which, that can happen. But anyways, and so I've really kind of enjoyed it. I'm not gonna fib or anything. I mean, I really preferred when somebody else did my hair, and it was once a year. I would never get my hair done more than once a year, whether it was a perm or coloring or anything like that. And as cheap as it is for me to do my hair, and as soft and I used Garnier, it was amazing. I could not believe how nice my hair felt. It was like, no way, like, what the heck? That's amazing, because you have an oil that you put in it, and then you have a deep conditioner afterwards. And I was just like, or not deep, but kind of a quick conditioner. And I was just like, wow, that's fantastic. And so anyways, my hair still feels fantastic, 2-3 days later. And yeah. But what I was going to say is I had all the red still on the back of my hair, where I guess a lot of people, the red fades. I did purchase the shampoo that puts red back in. It is too dark of a red for me. But that's okay. I mean, to buy another kit is like, I think $7 with a $5 off coupon. I think I could afford that. Considering what it used to cost for me to get my hair done. It was crazy. But yes, it was. May I say, it was stinking expensive. So I'm not sure. Maybe I will. I think I will go ahead and put these on. But it wasn't hard. It was super easy. And for those of you who do your own hair, seriously, you know what I'm talking about. But for me, it's been almost 30 years. I know. Isn't that weird? And I was just like, it's been 30 years. What in the world? It's so, yeah, over 30 years. And because when I was first married, I always did my hair. And yeah, I mean, I got to where I was going to like the Aveda school and things like that. I mean, I wasn't going to spend a ton of money, but one of my parents, when I was teaching, was like, hey, do you know about the Aveda school? I was like, no, what's the Aveda school? And so it was like, oh, that's what I need to do. And we were homeschooling, and we just weren't when I was teaching, it was for minimal. I mean, it basically covered the gas for me to get to San Antonio to teach, but it was all good. It was all good. And I'm very thankful for it. And I was so like, I received gift cards to it. It was so sweet. And, anyways, but, even my husband said later, goes, you know what? That was the worst haircut I ever had. And I was like, okay, let it go. My husband's very, very persnickety about his hair. So, but he's been doing his own hair stuff. And I've told him, I said, hey, and he goes, yeah, you save a lot of money. And I said, yep. I said, I don't disagree. And that needs to come over. All right, guys, you think I'd never used one of these before? Sorry. Um, but anyways, so I just wanted to let you guys know that I have my new ballerina pink nails on. This is another amazing cost-effective thing. And these are my red aspen nails, and there's a link always below. And I just have to tell you, tremendous savings for somebody who used to get my nails done all the time, because my daughter got upset after my parents passed away about how bad my nails had gotten, and it was pure stress. That's just all it was. And she was like, you really need to get your nails done. Please go get your nails done. So I would get them dipped, and it was fun. It was very much a treat, and I was very thankful for it. Always, I'm never gonna lie. That was like but it was an hour of driving and an hour of being there, to and from, and then an hour of being there. And I don't know about y'all, but I didn't have the time then. It was good for me because at that time in my life, I could stop and get an iced tea or pick up at that time we ate out, and we would get gift cards, and I would, literally, we could get discounts due to our age. And so I could eat out for like maybe $2. I know we were really cheap. And then I could get a better nail, you know, treatment, but, and I'd only get my toes done, every now and then. But I mean, I would get my fingernails done you're supposed to go every like 3 to 4 weeks at the most. I would go like every 5 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks. I would stretch it as long as I could. But with these, I just soak them off, take them off. I let my nails rest this time, a couple of days in between, just because I got busy and I wanted to get my hair done first, or do my hair first. And then I put these back on, and these I have not worn yet, and I love this color. I love the bunny hill pink that I wore right before this, and they're the more like glittery pink. And I will get another set of those because I actually chipped one. I'm so hard on my nails. And I mean, not bad. I mean, I filed it right out and it wasn't a big deal. And the great thing about these, like, these were longer and I didn't want them as long, so I just filed them down. And it was fantastic. And so if you're wondering, can you do that? Yes, you can. And it is fantastic. It is so easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So, but I have really enjoyed these, and I was watching a video of a gal. My husband wanted to go over to Home Depot. He's in the back tilling up an extra garden. I know, an old garden that we used to use, and, which is great. And while he was in, of course, I don't go into stores. I'm the ride along girl. And let me see, is that going to fit? And it is not. So I may try to pull this one up. Okay, I think I can. Anyways, and so I was watching this gal, and it was, kind of a style type show. And I really enjoyed it. She showed what you would do for if you're 50 plus, which I am, and it is a blessing, and I'm thankful for it. And she was just talking about clothing and whatnot. And I've been watching this other gal with, her name is Nicole Johnson, as well as Dominique Sachet. And both these ladies are older, and they really, especially Nicole Johnson, she is a esthetician, so she talks a lot about skin care, body care, hair care, makeup if you're older, some of the dilemmas you can have. She talks a lot about if you're silver hair, and I am not. Clearly, I wasn't before, but just a few strays. And the great thing was, though, that I learned is that I've lost a lot of my eyebrows due to thyroid and having my thyroid removed, thyroid disease and thyroid removal. And the great thing was, the little bit of eyebrows I have, which I used to have like the Brooke Shields, super dark, super thick eyebrows my whole life. And she talked about that you can use different kinds of things to cover up the gray, whereas I was, even though I didn't have much, I was plucking the gray. I know. And it was kind of I had never thought about it. I mean, I use a color pencil, but she has some things in her, her arsenal that were such an eye opener for me. And so, anyways, I mean, I'm not saying you should spend your whole day watching, makeup videos, but I am saying that it's okay to learn new things so that you can put your best foot forward. And so I think there's a lot to be said for that because, as somebody who literally is still in my Walmart discount, sale rack, $3 jackets, there's something to be said for, dressing nicely, putting your best foot forward, doing, things like that. And I'm literally wearing an Erin Condren t-shirt from a couple of years ago. And the minute I bought it, they're those super soft ones. So the neck just looks terrible on it. And, and I have 3 of these and 2 of these that are in navy. And, because when I was taking care of my parents, I was in and out of hospitals. Everything was getting really dirty and grungy. There were so many emergencies. Plus, just the care of my parents wasn't exactly the cleanest. I mean, and I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I'm just trying to say that I will be the same way, God forbid. But as we age, there are just things that people have to help us with, and that's okay. And I mean, that's what it was. I love my parents. And so I would help them. And my mother would be mortified and I'd be like, don't be silly. Everything's fine. That's why I'm here. And, and my goal was for her to never feel embarrassed or unhappy or anything because that was my job. My job was to make my mom feel good and to feel happy. And I loved that part of my job. And I know for some people, they're just like, ugh, no way. And I understand not everybody is made the same. But for me, I felt very called to take good care of my mom and for her to never be embarrassed or ashamed or, and I mean, I would take her to it's not, you know what? I'm just going to go right here. I would take her to the neurologist and she would answer questions. And it was clear, Alzheimer's was getting the best of her. And she would look at me and say things like, I did okay, right? And I was like, you sure did. You did a wonderful job. And you never needed to think twice. And she was like, well, I did okay. Because she couldn't remember things. And I knew she couldn't even remember that she couldn't remember. You know what I mean? And so my job was just to tell her, you did fantastic and I'm so proud of you. And if as long as you always do your best, that's all that matters. And, and that was not always how it was when we were kids, but as a mom myself and as a kid who had very high expectations set for, um, there is no way, no way, no way. I mean, same thing with my kids. Now, if my kids weren't doing their best, of course it mattered. But my kids, are they've done pretty well in school, and I've shared that before. And so my goal was more on their character, focusing on their character, trying to make sure that they were attending to what they needed to as Christians, as, young people, and the attitude of the heart was everything for me. And that didn't always set well with my kids, but I think as they get older and they have their own children, that hopefully they will see, the reason behind the madness, so to speak. I mean, I just wanted the best for my children, and I knew that the attitude of their heart was the most important. And the same thing with my mom. I mean, she had such a great attitude with Alzheimer's, and I know Alzheimer's does not affect people all the same way, but for my mom, she became very sweet-natured and very kind and very loving. And, I know that's not true with all people. I'm going to scooch this down a little bit if you wonder what I'm doing. I totally get that, but we were very blessed. And because of that, I knew my mom was trying so hard, and she had someone in her life that made her feel terrible every time she boo-booed. And there was no way. And of course, I was very protective of that. I was very, everybody needs to be realistic. This is what we can do. And not that I didn't challenge her to keep her mind active. I did. But I was also never going to make her feel badly. And that was my number one goal. And that was my number one goal for everybody who was around her. And if that makes any sense, but you know. But anyway, so I think that self-care is a part of this. And I think that as we look at these different things as we age, get a little older, every year. I mean, I used to say I was 29 till my daughter turned 30, my oldest. And you know what? Somebody asked me the other day and I laughingly said, well, I always said I was 29. And they were like, well, why aren't you anymore? And I said, well, my oldest is now older than 29. And she was just like, so? I was like, oh, I love your attitude. But I mean, it's all good. And I think it's all about the attitude of our heart and where we're at. And don't get me wrong, coronavirus has been incredibly intrusive of my life, as it has yours. And, my husband even commented today, he said, you haven't even used like a restroom out in 10 months. And I'm like, no, I've been sheltered in. I mean, I did what they said. And because we got sick so early, I wasn't about to, because we don't know if my autoimmune is still going to hold. And, it's been a journey, because in theory you have antibodies and we just did not know. And that's kind of a crazy because of my history with, pneumonia and all that stuff. And my flus that have been so bad, respiratory flus, all the different kinds of flus, that I was highly encouraged to be smart about that. And, and literally my last doctor, as he got ready to retire, said, at Christmas, it's now time for you to go back in. And I was like, well, I haven't been out yet. And he goes, good, stay in. And I was like, okay. Because I love him and I know, as he retired, he gave me his phone number. It just, such a good man. How do you not trust somebody who wants the best for you? And that was his whole point was, I want you to get busy. He knew my parents. It was like, I want you to have a job and I'm so thrilled that you're starting this and I need you to get focused on something that you want to do. And anyways, and so he's been such a good man. And gosh, I just can't believe he's retired. I'm going to start crying if I don't stop. But anyways, but one of the things that he wanted me many years ago was to go through, he said, I've never recommended anybody for this, but I'm going to recommend you. And I said, what? And he said, biofeedback. And it was because I had so much stress. I was continually having ulcers and they were very bad. And, and his PA let slip one time that, if you keep having ulcers, you'll end up with cancer. And oh, he was furious. Anyways, but it's true. I needed to know it. So I'm thankful she said it. It made me recognize that, I didn't go do biofeedback, and I'll explain why I brought that up in a minute, but I do agree that we have to take care of ourselves. And I do agree that she meant the best. And I don't in any way think anything but that, And so back to the biofeedback, something very interesting happened. So my Garmin had died and my Garmin was a very wide, I didn't like, I'm allergic to latex and adhesives. So like the silicone wristband is not good for me. Oh, I still have plastic on that. Oh, okay. Well, this is brand new. Can you tell? Anyway, so I started looking, my Garmin died. And what I have found is that Garmin's usually last about 2 battery changes and that's it. And so, I had told my husband, man, I really need my Garmin back. Cause number one, it was my watch. And number two, I used it for, sleep and, steps and all that. So I started getting online and looking. And so I always need a Garmin that can get wet. And it's just a personal thing. I like to have a Garmin that if I go swimming or, I grew up on the coast. I'm a water girl. That's just how my brain thinks. And we have an exercise membership in a town over, but we haven't been able to use it because as soon as we got it, and it's at a community center, as soon as we got it, COVID hit. And it's just nauseating that we paid all that money. But anyways, so I decided that as I was looking, I thought, well, I'll just get another Garmin and then I can just interchange things out. Well, all of a sudden, this very off-brand kind of little watch came up, and it's kind of neat. It's all touch screen. Come to find out, it takes your blood pressure and your pulse in real time. It goes through the cycle, it takes them. You don't even have to schedule it, it just does it. Well, I was with someone today, within my family. Something happened, and all of a sudden, I recognize here my blood pressure. I have been checking it because I've had issues with blood pressure in the past. And so I really tried to attend to it. And my dad had severe heart disease, and my mom, and on and on and on. And so I noticed my blood pressure going up and my pulse going up. And I was like, so finally I told this person, I said, hey, do you remember when I was supposed to do biofeedback and I didn't do it? Well, I don't even need to have that done now. All I have to do is be with you and my little watch go off. And the person looked at me like, well, that's not my fault. And I said, no, pretty much it is. I mean, yes, it's my response to you, but it's exactly what the doctor thought. And so anyways, it's all good. But what a great device. I'm going to get one for my husband. He has the old Garmin. It does have the sleep on it. It has, it has a timer. It has all these things. I mean, it was $50, my friends, and they had a rose gold one, and I was so mad I saw it afterwards. But I told my husband, I said, for the same price. And he goes, well, you have rose gold on it. And I said, yeah, I do like two tones because I wear silver and I wear gold and wear rose gold. But I told him, I said, seriously, what a good deal. And he was just like, and I said, for that, oh, I got something I trimmed off. For that amount of money I can afford. And he was like, yeah. He said, the only thing, and I've never had one, you do have to put this in a charger, but I have worn this all day and I've only lost one bar in almost 24 hours. So I feel pretty good about that of charge. So it looks like a charge will last. And I kept punching it all day long, seriously, all day long. And the thing that was funny when I got it, it's in like, I don't know, 12 different languages. And I told my husband, I was like, uh-oh, this isn't good. And he was like, what's wrong? And I said, it's in like 12 different languages. He goes, no way. And I said, yes way. And he was just like, seriously? I was like, yeah, but it's good. Maybe I'll learn a new language. Let's see if I can figure out the Spanish. I found it in English. But it was just one of those funny things where he was just like, no. And I said, yeah. And there's not that much instruction on this. So it's kind of important that I got to be able to read it. Anyways, but I have really enjoyed this. I hope it works out. It's a stainless steel band, which is really important. I'm so allergic to everything. And so far so good, but I do think I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bump y'all. One of the most amazing things is that it provides that blood pressure, which I really needed. It provides that, what am I trying to say? It provides the pulse rate, which is really good. And, I think it's all good. And I think that if we understand that, then it will be great.